Hello, Vandex. I think this one has Heart of Darkness in it. If it doesn't, it has. I'm doing okay. How are you? Hey, Canine. Just working on a journal entry. Howdy's fine too. I used to live in Texas, so I've heard a lot of people say that. I'm doing okay. Playing with some gouache here. How about you? Everybody just chilling today? I was actually going to go over to my other boyfriend's house today, but he ended up being busy, so I decided to come home and stream. Oh, you live in Texas? That's nice. I used to live in Killeen. I was like 9 years old, so that was 20 years ago? 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Hello, Nacho. I'm gonna bring this color I have down a little bit. Well, so I didn't draw this. This was like a piece of paper that had a bird on it already. So like I've just been kind of working on it to make it into a journal entry. Yeah, I remember you from yesterday, horny boy. But this is my journal entry, so I have a whole bunch of like different types of art in here. So there's drawings and collage. Let's see if I can actually find one that's done. Regular drawings, some mixed media. I do a lot of mixed media, some ink, stuff like that. So it's all different. It just depends on what's going on. So like this one is just one I started yesterday. My 3D pen broke. This one's more like a collage. Oh. Alright, so I'm gonna tone down a little green and mix it with some, looks like burnt sienna. I didn't look at the colors before I grabbed them. Do a little bit of deepening. This is watered down though, so it won't be too dark. I want it darker out here. If you want to see some of my other stuff that's not journal, you can see. Here. There's some different stuff. I do coloring book pages and I do abstract, mixed media, drawing, a little bit of sculpture, bookmaking. Do you make art? Man, I'm not used to gouache. It's okay, that's why I wanted to use it, because I'm not used to it. I need to get used to it a little bit more. Use these fine liners that I got. And doodles. Nothing wrong with doodles. A lot of what I do is doodling. I almost never set out to create anything specific. I have a lot of friends who they always say stuff like, I can't even draw a stick figure. And I'm like, well, neither can I, but there's not really much call for stick figures these days. I don't see that many people making stick figures. Bring some out to start these parts. So I am going to actually bring rays out here, but I'm not going to put white underneath them so they won't glow as much. It'll be darker. Doodling is great though. It's good for your brain. It can help you concentrate. There's interesting things that happen in our brains when we doodle. Even if we aren't writing notes, we tend to remember things whenever even if it seems absent-mindedly, if we're like, doing something with our hands. It's weird how our brain pathways are. I almost never remember like anything unless I've brought art to work on. Like I can remember movies and things, but like I can remember details of stuff because what'll happen is I will be working and at the moment of, for example, I may make a stroke, and at that moment I may remember, like, when I look at the art again, I may remember that when I made this stroke, I was listening to, like, Soft House, and I was streaming, and I was talking about brain stuff. And I'll remember that every time I look at this drawing. Nothing wrong with baby drawings either. You should see some of my abstract stuff. There's, like, nothing wrong with that. The truth is that most artists, especially abstract artists like myself, when you are young, you have a freedom. You have this thing where you're not like chained down to a particular art style. You're not chained down to a particular set of, of like techniques. You haven't like developed a style. You haven't been told what the rules are. You're just doing what you want to do, and it's all emotional and it's all personal and it's free. And there are artists who go to school and they train and they learn how to do techniques and they learn this and they learn that, and then they spend the rest of their lives trying to get back that freedom that they had when they were young. Because once you start thinking about things like contrast and technique and all of that stuff, like you're thinking about it every time you paint and you can't let it go, and it gets very hard to come back to that freedom, that innocence. Our brains are tricky beasts. They used to teach art, and there were little kids always wanted to learn. They wanted to learn perspective. They wanted to learn pointillism. And it's like, that's great. But the first thing that happens when you teach a kid how to draw perspective is every drawing after that is perspective. And they never go back to that, like, freedom. And you start to see, like, once somebody picks a style, and it's like, especially if you go to school. If you don't go to school, usually what happens is you'll pick up your style from other artists that you see, or other art that you see, or your teachers. I mean, teachers have a huge influence. I can remember at the school that I went to, or one of the schools I went, one of the schools around here anyway, just almost everybody coming out of that school, their art just looked the same, like all of it. And so when you think about, like, education can actually be pretty stifling. Now, there are definitely important things to know, like, for example, if you intend on selling your art, it's good to know what to work on that's not going to fall apart, you know, to know things like that. But sometimes, and I mean, I had this happen to me too, sometimes, you know, knowing something, it's almost like a prison. You don't... I'll give you a perfect example. My art that I used to do when I was in college, there was a type of art that I would do where I would make, and I still make it, but where I would make pictures with gesso, and I would make them all very textured, and then I would paint in them and use a little bit of pointillism. And I had a painting teacher who was like, you know, these are really pretty, but they're kind of gimmicky. You should get away from that. And so I did. And I didn't pick that style back up until 15 years later, and they were my most sought after, most popular paintings. And it was like, you know, it was something I enjoyed doing, and I thought it was pretty good, and it was my style, but, you know, somebody said, hey, don't do that. So I stopped doing it. I'm talking about, hold on. Do I have any of those in there? These are all drawings, aren't they? I thought I had my other prints. Hold on. They were like this. So see, like the texture and stuff. But yeah, I was told not to do that. I was told to do something else. And these are the ones that people like. So, don't, like, that's the thing, is a lot of artists, they get trapped in a box of what they feel like they have to do. And they aren't necessarily right. Nobody's right. I mean, obviously, people who buy art can tell you what they want, and that's fine. But, like, when it comes to just doing your own thing, you got to decide for yourself. And if you can draw stick figures and your drawings look like baby drawings, keep working with that, man. That's all I can say. I mean, some of my doodles, let's see if I've got, like, I mean, for example, like, this is literally just a doodle that I just messed with afterward. And it's just ink that I put down on the page and then hit it with some water and, you know, let it bleed out and then added some color. Like, I never drew this. It's just a doodle. So it's, I mean, so is that. I mean, it's not actually, I didn't set out to draw that thing. Same with this. And I mean, obviously, the more you doodle, the better you get at it. Trying to find one that's different. Or like this one is just, you know, and eventually, you know, just build it up. Go from just squiggling lines to squiggling lines and making them into shapes. This is another doodle. I mean, they ended up being finished pieces, but at the beginning, all it was like, you know, me with a piece of paper and whatever pen I used, one of these, just, you know, literally doing stuff like that. And I mean, that doesn't look like anything. It's not until you decide what to do with it that it, you know, you can make it into something. And I'm literally doing what I did to start those paintings. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't look like it. I mean, if you saw that, you'd be like, what the hell is that? Is that a monster crawling out of a vagina? Like, what? I just work art till I like it. Hey, Loon. You taking a break today? I hope you're feeling better. Listen here, you little shit. Fucking art, man. These pens. Fight me. Now I do have white gouache I could do this with, but the pen will actually overlay it a little bit better. And I don't have to use a tiny brush. This is a little bit faster. But it works! Maybe make quite a few layers here. Hopefully you got some rest, Loon. I saw a bad thing last night and I had a bad night, so. Luckily it was after I was done with Rob. It was really bad too, like. Now I don't leave a lot of stuff like super plain like this. Sometimes I will like add a bunch of elements. Sometimes I haven't decided yet where I want to go completely with this, but I do like the design, like the layout and the balance of it. So I'm gonna start playing with maybe some different concepts real quick. I've got some Oxblood ink. I've got some, what do I have over here? How about some of this gold paint that I hate? My least favorite paint. But it's okay. That's life. Shit happens. Actually, what if I use my gold pen? Where's my gold pen? Gold pen, where are you? Hey, my 3D pen broke, and here's something funny. Okay, so the 3D pen breaking may have been my fault, but okay, so here's the deal. There was filament coming out of so there was filament actually coming out of here, and it was getting inside of like the cap part of it, and it was coming out over the tip. And so I don't know what was causing it. Maybe it had a jam that caused that, but you can see where the filament came out down here, because that's some of it right there. And it popped this, I think this is actually the heating element. It actually popped the heating element open. And so after it broke, I was looking up last night, because I have all of this 3mm filament. I have 2 huge rolls of it. So I didn't want to like buy another pen and more filament for that pen, because I don't like the smaller filament that I got. It's not very good. So what I did was I was like looking for like the best prices on another 3Doodler. Well, it turns out this Star Trek one, the Star Trek version, if you go on Amazon right now, it's $12.50. I'll repeat that, $12.50. So I bought 2 of them. So I think that because it's discontinued and it was a special edition, they aren't making it anymore, so they're trying to get rid of them. And the next one up is like $50. It's a red one that they don't make anymore. And then after that it's like a green one. But so I like bought one and I was like, $12.50, seriously? And I bought another one, because normally these are $100. And I got, they like went down to like 90 on their site. And they have a professional, supposedly professional one, but it's $250. And until I like know for sure how I want to straighten these rods to make them work, I'm not going to buy that one, because they're the only pen that takes the 3mm. So fuck. Oh, well, well, I mean, if it's $12.50, if you decide to get that one, get that one. But I would suggest probably going with one of the other ones, like the Scribbler. The Scribbler is supposed to be super good. It's $100 for a Scribbler, but the Scribbler version 3 will take any filament. So you can buy a roll of the kind it'll take the 1.75, and you don't have to worry about straightening out the 3mm, because the 3 So like this is from a roll of 3mm. See how it's not straight? I had to straighten it out with a heat gun. You can buy the stuff for it, but the stuff for it is like ends up being like 70 cents a piece or something. It's really expensive when you can get a whole roll of it for like 15 bucks. So this kind of pin, like this pin was, oh god damn it, it locked up. 1 second. Okay, so this one was only $30, but I think the motor can run out on it pretty easily. So there's one like this, it's called the Scribbler, that it takes this shorter one and it can coil up and you don't have to worry about, like, you can use it right off of a roll if you wanted to, or you can like do what I do, and I've just been like cutting some off and like just putting my arm through it so it's out of the way. But I wouldn't get one of the cheap ones. I would get one that's a little bit better. But for $12.50, it's not bad to try the other one out. I mean, I wouldn't, I'm not gonna sneeze at, snitch at, whatever. I won't sneer at it, I guess. I mean, I was super unhappy that it broke, and I don't know if it broke because of something that I did, like, you know, using it with a filament that was a little fucked up, or if it broke because it was just, you know, a mess, something happened. Okay, so this, what was it? I was actually gonna use my pen, but let me start with this. And so this is not going to show a whole lot, but there's a tiny bit of sheen on it. Just takes the white, from white to a little gold sheen. I think the only reason I don't like this paint, this gold paint, is just because I expected it to be better than this because I got it from a really good company. That's probably all it is. Because it's like fine. It's just not at all what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot. I guess it's not really. It is what I thought it would be because it's supposed to be like metallic watercolor. It should blend down into the gouache that I already have in there. Seems to be working. Just do a little gold down here just to change it up. It's good. It's just very thick, and that's weird. Let's do the other gold now. A little bit more of this right here. So that's like a different... Hey, Urban Disaster. Thank you. I didn't draw the bird. This is... I'll say that again. I just outlined it a little bit. This is a piece of paper that I already had the bird on it, like as a stamp. So you don't think that I did that. I mean, I probably could draw a bird. It's actually not the kind of thing I would be likely to draw. Usually draw monsters. I'll use this oxblood ink for the bird beard. Maybe I won't use that brush. Maybe I won't use my brand new fine liner for that. This is the kind of thing that won't be super noticeable unless you get up close that it's red. That's what I want. I don't want it like bright red. I could make it bright red, but I don't want it that color. I just want it to look like kind of like the sun shining off of a bird. Like how it would look. Just the reflection. Thank you. Oh, you have? Oh, that's cool. Thanks. Sorry, I always have streaming problems, so been having problems lately. Give a little texture here. Yeah, it's been happening. I feel like I've literally never gotten a break with streaming issues. I'm actually surprised my streams are still right now. My nails. Oh, Lord. Well, I keep my nails nice so that they don't look bad, because, I mean, I do so much stuff on here that they always get dirty, so I just try to keep them looking nice. It's funny. Hey, Jesus cow. Let's get these little feetsies in here. Oh, the last week? That's good. Maybe you'll get a little break. Yeah, I'm live. I made live too. All right. Let me get this bronze. Thanks. Yeah, this is my art journal. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, but it's like a lot of different stuff. So I just try to, I don't know, it's, what's the word? I try to make it a challenge. So like I find a page and then just try to work off of what's on that page. And there is like some blank paper in here, but I almost never use it. I should just stop putting blank pages in here. There we go. Now it's got some real sheen to it. And the Oxblood ink that I used is actually water soluble, so this will blend into it. When I had the technical pens out, the ink that I used was it's waterproof, so the black won't mix into it. It's much better. You can see the difference in tone. Oh, what, playing sax? I mean, that's good. It's good to have stuff. I should start streaming again. I'm gonna bring that dark color down. There we go. No, I'm on Camu, Mixer, and Twitch right now. I'm using Restream. There are some sites I have more problems with than others. Good job. Good job, Belinda. Drop your just a little. Twice in a row. Maybe don't put that there. Oh my God. All right. It seems like Mixer is actually the side I was having the most trouble with. Mostly, well, I had a different Twitch account, but I got banned. They still haven't really told me why. So that one is gone. But I've been Mixer and Camu are the ones I've really spent more time on that have been a little better. Let's see here. Okay, so I was looking for a pencil in here and I dropped everything 3 times. There we go. I was going to do this one that has the 3 colors. Maybe this one. So these pencils have multiple colors. So when you shade with them, you can see it. You get kind of interesting colors. So if you're like me and you like to use a bunch of different color and you don't want it to all be the same, you can use these awesome pencils and you don't have to have 3 different pencils. for a little more texture. These are nice pencils. These are awesome. It helps that there's clear gesso on this page because it actually like makes everything really gritty, so it really picks up pencil. A little more, a couple other, something to move it around the page a little bit more than that big circle in the middle. Hey, Urban Disaster, thank you for the host. Let's try this. I'm gonna use my shading thingies. Do I have one in here? I do. Never really use these. Blurring the edges a little bit. back to you. Back to you. I'm on my way. boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Come on. Everything fit there before. There we go. I have so many of these damn glitter pins, and I don't want any of them. I just want the damn metallic ones. Blah. Oh, well. All right, thank you, Loon. Have a good afternoon. Let's see here. Maybe this one. Back, get this gouache back out. Now gouache me work, whip. Now gouache me paint. That was the bad joke. All right, so we got vermilion and some kind of yellow. Just do this. Mix some color. And this will be a different texture than what's on there. I'll give it a little bit of depth. See it a little better if I zoom in. The next piece I do, I may play with gouache a little bit more. Since I already have some out, I can just get a little bit more out. And play. And play a little bit. Because I never play with the gouache. I don't play with the gouache. Nice. It's crunchy. This one's crunchy. mixer teams. I didn't even know there were mixer teams. A lot of stuff's been going on in my family lately, so I haven't even been streaming that often. I've been dealing with family drama and sleeping off the trauma that's been coming along with it. Plus I work like quite a bit, and I'm just starting to like get to the point where I can start to take a little more time from work. It's not even time off, it's just like just working a little bit less than I have been. But yeah, I mean, mixer team sounds cool. Like a guild. That's okay. If you go to my YouTube, it's like the same as here. It's Belinda Short. If you look at my YouTube, there's I do time lapses of art, and there's stuff up there. And I've been talking about kind of what's been going on. Basically, just found out that my mom is like a really severe hoarder, and I'm in the process of getting my sister from her, my sister's only 15. So that's just been a whole ordeal. Yeah. My sister, like, it's really bad. It's like TV show level bad. And I've had like people in the family, you know, I've dealt with this before, but I didn't know my sister was staying there. And I'm still in the process of like getting the animals out of the house and everything. I've gotten foster homes for some of them. Waiting on this Friday, I'm actually taking the dogs to someone. My mom is on top of being a hoarder, she's just not well, so she hasn't been for a long time, and I didn't know. I was under the impression she was getting treatment. Well, the good news is, like, I'm not in a fight with my mom, so I mean that's the good news. I'm actually working with my mom on this. So I've told my mom that I'm going to try to help her with her house. And I'm gonna try to, you know, and then I'm taking my sister basically. And she said that's fair, because like so the backstory is my mom needed a surgery, and the surgery was gonna put her out of the house, and in a nursing home for a while because her house, she couldn't recover there because it's in really bad shape. She didn't say how bad, but I just assumed it was just cluttered and dirty like before. But so I told her that I would try to like hire a specialist to help her come declutter and like get rid of her stuff. And then when I actually saw her house, it was like 10 times worse than I thought it would be. And I was like, no, my sister's not going back to this. Like, I was just like, no, she's not going back. I'm like, not allowing it. And I was like, if I have to fight her, I will. If I have to get a lawyer, I will. But basically, there's another lady helping take care of my sister right now and taking her to school and stuff. Cause she's like lives like 40 minutes from me. And she was already taking her to school. So, but that lady actually told my mom what I said, that I wasn't going to let my mom have her back. And my mom was like, I'm okay with that. Like, she gets it. That it's not that I'm like mad at her, because I mean, it's a mental illness. So I'm not pissed at her. I mean, I'm unhappy about it and I wish she would get better. But like, I understand it. I mean, we grew up very, very poor. It's really easy to develop that problem when you already have if you already have an anxiety disorder and then you throw in, you know, being like destitute on top of it. Well, the thing is, basically it's like this. She doesn't have to let me help her. Like, she doesn't have to, and I get that. She's an adult. But my sister isn't. And so as long as, you know, she's not fighting me about my sister, I'll let it go. She can, you know, when she gets out of the hospital from her stay, she's going to be staying at another house that her boyfriend's setting up for her. Her boyfriend is also a hoarder, though, is the problem. And so, but they don't live together. And I guess they're like, this doesn't matter. He's setting up a place for her to stay. And while we try to figure out what to do with her house. And her house is, I mean, it's really big. It's like 5 bedrooms. So, and I mean, the thing is, I also have an anxiety disorder, and I also have, because I grew up so poor, for a long time, I've had the same propensity that she does, and that's just to hold on to everything. And it's like, you know, if somebody throws everything out, like, I'm not gonna like cry for days about it, but I'll just replace it. And that's like kind of where she is right now, because she hasn't gotten treatment. And the problem is, I mean, she's older. I mean, she's 53 now. And so like, she's in that place where like, she's probably not going to change her behavior that much, but I don't want my sister to like grow up the way that I did and like end up like with those habits too. And so I want her to be able to stay with me, where we can talk about, you know, and I talked about this on my vlog too, but about like some of the things they talk about in situations like this. You know, some of the techniques and things people use to kind of deprogram ourselves into wanting to have things. I make rules for myself, and my rules include only buying art supplies. They include if I bring something new in, I'm going to start getting rid of something that's the same. So like if it's replacing something that's like a similar thing, like say I've got a shirt that's really faded and it doesn't, you know, it's got, you know, stains in it or something. If I get a new shirt, it's only because I'm getting rid of a shirt, not because I'm bringing more in. And it's like these, like, you know, those are things that like you can learn that make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to sign this because it's done. I forgot I had this little bitty pencil. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Now this one I'm probably going to have to spray because everything, like half of it's still water soluble. So I'm going to let it dry. Take a picture for Instagram or whatever. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, I never even knew that like I had those instincts until after I caught my mom doing it before. Yikes. How about not flash? There we go. Always takes me a minute. See if I can get a damn thing. I hate taking photos for Instagram. There. I also like how it looks just a completely different color on my phone. It's the best. That's the best! Ew. All right, whatever. What's it called? Invite. Okay, cool. I have it here. I have a Discord too. My camera is white balanced, but it's still. Can you just let me in? Let me see. Thank you. I'm trying to get a picture on Instagram so I can. Yeah, it's like a completely different color on there. Oh, fuck it. It's more green than that. That's fine though, whatever. Nice to chat with you too. Were you not able to chat before? Maybe my chat wasn't working. Here we go. Okay. So it's definitely more green than that. I wish I could delete Instagram posts, but I can't. Can you? Maybe I can. I don't think you can. Oh, well. Maybe I'll just post a different one. Hey, Jesus cow. Thanks. Yeah, I work a lot, so. I like how the bird looks mad. All right. Be right back. Thank you, Pink Pisco. Here's the pictures that I took of it are on here. Oh. May work up closer to the front. Usually I work on pages that are kind of close together, but I didn't today. I didn't really need to because I wasn't doing a whole lot of stuff. So this whole journal got soaked at one point, and I had to dry it. And I lost some of the pages, so I had to rebind it. Yeah, this was the page I was drawing when I had to rebind it. It was out. It came out of the book because I put it outside to dry, and then it rained like crazy. Did this end up being soluble? Is that what happened? I'm trying to decide if I want to finish this. Just like work on this for a little bit. I think I will. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a, let's see, what time is it? 5:30. All right. I'm gonna have some whiskey, I think. It is so hot. I changed my mind. I decided to have a rum and coke. All right. All right, what do I want to do? So I know I can't use the markers. I can use colored pencils though. This was going to be a coloring book page. I didn't finish it, so I decided to throw out my journal. Okay. White balance again. Okay. Properties. Better. Maybe some gouache for this. Alrighty. The damn paper bouncing around all over the place. It's almost impossible to paint. Hello! Oh my gosh, 3 more missed calls. My favorite. All right, so for this, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to go with it, but I'm going to take some of this gouache and I'm going to go over this purple a little bit, and it's going to probably, I'm going to try to do it kind of lightly so that that texture of the purple is still there. I wonder if it'll soak in, because that's alcohol ink underneath it. I bet it won't actually. I wonder if it's sealed. But I might be able to get some texture that way. Yeah, that'll be nice. Because gouache has a matte finish. I can use it as a... It's kind of dark still. Let's do... like barely sticking. So there is a binder in gouache. It's called gum arabic, but if it's on top of something, it may not bind all the way down. So it's only going to bind in the areas where there's like a little bit of the paper still under there showing through. It'll still dry on top of it though, so that's fine. So what I think I'll do is take this yellowy orange, this color, this medium yellow. And that will mix down into the orange. It's hard to see it. You'll see it in a second when I do a little more. Hey, Naughty21. Good morning, evening, afternoon. Urban, if you're still there, sometimes I sing on my stream, and when I do that, I switch to another site where I'm not going to be causing copyright issues. So I may do that after a while. I haven't sang in a while, and I need to get my voice back in shape. Not that I make any money, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not monetized or anything. Wash is so weird. It's like impossible to predict which colors are gonna lay and which ones are gonna blend. This will keep blending down into the orange, which is fine. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I haven't been in a band in a couple years now since my back surgery. But I was in a band for... I'm 39 now. I was in a band since I was, I don't know, 23. Been in bands until I was off and on from 23 to like 37. Well, right now I just sing covers, but like I used to do like folk music and rock and all sorts of stuff. It just depended, because like most of the stuff I wrote was like indie rock. Usually when I sing now, it's covers, just whatever, any kind. Variety. I sing a lot of Sia. I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Some 80s stuff, some 90s stuff. Alternative, a whole lot of alternative music. Hey, this is the same song, but with lyrics, apparently. Maybe not, but it is the same. It's probably the same. The people that do this music for that. So I use this program that has copyright-free music, and it cost me $15 a month because I was tired of getting copyright strikes. And all the musicians are like, they're all from like Sweden and Norway. And this is all the music that like BuzzFeed uses. Instagram people. Because it's royalty free. So I do have this like mauve color I can grab. Let's see. What color is this? Ultramarine. So I'm not using ultramarine yet. I'm using the other blue, which is Prussian blue. This is the only one of these paints that looks a different color, which is weird. It's that one. Crimson red. This one is the only one that's like an actual different color. Mauve. And it has a little peel thing. I bet this is a new color or something. It's a different... Oh, weird. It's different. Everything's different about it. Like the top of it's plastic. Wow, it's really bright. It's a good color. Ooh, I like that color. I'm gonna start a whole new painting just to use that. Thick boy. I'm a moderator of a group on Facebook. And we just hit 25,000 people. So we did bios about ourselves because there's like 20 of us. And I didn't know what to say about myself. So I decided I forgot what to say, and then I sent them to my BelindaShort.com webpage. They wanted to know anything. I'm so bad about doing bios for myself. Let's do alla prima. Get a little texture that way. Alla prima. I don't want lyrics. Not like some more white. Let's get some more. Wait a second. Do I not have a Losing Crimson in here? Are you fucking kidding me? How is that even possible? Fine. I guess I can mix my own. Use this color. This color is called Rose. I bet that's essentially what I'm talking about. The same color. Losing Crimson. Let's find out. This is Rose. Let's do a swatch. This is Rose, Gouache, and this is Alizarin Crimson. Can already tell it's not the same color. I don't mind that color, it's just not. Whoa! Yeah, that's much redder. I just threw the lid for this. And it actually landed inside of one of my cups, so that's good. It's fine. That is a heckin' color right there. It's hexed. Heckenzie Deutsch. Alright, turn the lights on in here. Oh yay! It froze on me. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. Activate. Deactivate. Do the thing. Game capture. Fixing the problem. I can also turn it off and turn it back on. I've used the shit out of this camera though. Like, so I'm not surprised if it starts messing up on me. Oh my gosh, it's so hot I have to open the door. It's so warm in here that the cats don't even want to come in here. That's how warm it is. It's not though. Stop recording. I'm gonna restart the stream. 1 second.